It's the Date Master, and yes, we're back, baby. Had to take a hiatus for a minute. Got real busy, took some time, so we're back. I know you've been waiting. What we're gonna discuss this morning is this buddy love phenomenon and why men's standards decrease as they age. For those of you who are, let's say, older of who are familiar with Eddie Murphy's movies, such as The Nutty Professor, The Clumps, Norbit, etc., if you've seen them when they first released, it was certain information that you may have not been privy to. Certain experiences that you may have went through or have not went through that you may have since the movie came out. And a lot of red pill information was embedded in these movies, such as The Nutty Professor. You see Sherman Klump, which he was overweight. He was a nerd. He was the quintessential guy that women would walk past. They would not give any time of day. They would not date him serious. They wouldn't. He would be invisible to them. And you see his alter ego, which is Buddy Love. You see the total opposite. You see the charisma. You see the confidence. You see the character of Buddy Love, in which we all have a Buddy Love inside of us. We just have to tap into him. Now, why am I bringing this up? And you see on the right side of the thumbnail, you see Norbit, the awkward introvert who has the domineering, overweight woman. Now, you see this in the West a lot, to where men will beautify, or what I say, glorify women that in other parts of the world would be invisible to most men. Why is this? Because we tend to let women set the standard for us. As we get older in age, I've noticed, and I'll tell you what brought this subject about. I scroll on my Facebook, Instagram, and I see these talking points by men of my age, in my age bracket. And I see men starting to say things as such as, "Oh, I'm starting to like fupas now. Ooh, fupas are looking sexy to me now. Or I want me a BBW now." Not knowing a BBW is it is a certain archetype. But what we tend to do is lump a lot of women into this archetype that don't meet the standard. So why do I say this? Because if you want to know a man's type, ask him to show their prom date. Ask him to show you his prom date or his college crush. And as they get up in age, me in my late 30s, I have never lowered the standard for myself or the women that I date. I've never lowered the standard of the things that I like and want and aspire to obtain. Because as we get older in age, we get better, we get wiser, we get more refined if we do the work, if we make the certain sacrifices, going to the gym, staying on your purpose, building, working for yourself, taking certain risk. A lot of us like to stay in this safe space, this safe zone of comfort. And when you stay in that safe space, you get what comes with that. You get the lackluster job, you get the lackluster women, you get the lackluster experiences that life has to offer. Those who take the risk, those who do the work, make the sacrifices, they get the spoils. To the winner go the spoils. So I see men tricking themselves out of position because they have not done the work, or they have given up on themselves. The buddy love phenomenon basically shows what you can do when you have a certain level of confidence, a certain level of character and charisma. You see the differences in which he engaged Jada Pinkett's character versus when he was Sherman Klump. When he was Buddy Love, you see him on the stage going back and forth with Dave Chappelle. The spotlight is on him. He's outgoing because he has the confidence. But when he's Buddy Sherman Klump, he's, docile, insecure, scary. Now, going to Norbit, again, here you have the awkward, introverted guy who has a domineering, overweight woman who tries to control him in every way that she can. And a lot of men, especially in the black community, I see this a lot. All you have to do is, when you get some free time, just go in Walmart. Go in Walmart on a Friday, Saturday, do your grocery shopping, get you some things, and just look around. And you see these odd couples, and what people tend to do is they want to make sure the bar is set to a standard that they meet. Men cannot have preferences in this world, in this society, I would say. In the Western society, when a man says he wants a woman who weighs 140, slim, natural, etc., he's going to be shamed for that. He's going to be shunned because the women, they want to set the standard for you. They want to come to you with children, overweight, all of this baggage that you don't have to accept, yet you do. Because you have gotten to an age to where you threw in the towel. You said, okay, this is the best life. This is the best that life is going to get. I'll just take this. And you trick yourself. You do not like these type of women. You do not like the job that you, just think about the things that you do every day and count on the one hand, out of those things that you do, how many of those things that you hate? Or you have a slight disdain for. See, men have a strategy in which they try to glorify something that they do not like simply because that is all that they qualify for. They work a job they hate and they say, well, my job is, I get to get off on, this day. I got to put my time in and all this shit. Nah, you don't like that. So, but you do it because you're scared to take certain risks. You're scared to walk the plank. You're scared to get in the mud and sleep on the floor. All men will go through a phase where they have to sleep on the floor. And when I say sleep on the floor, you listen to guys like AMS, where he stated he had to move in with his sister. You're going to go through certain struggles and adversity in life. That's going to tell you if you're built for what you really want, or if you're really dedicated and determined to get where you're trying to go by doing the work, by making the sacrifices, by cutting back on certain habits that stop you from reaching your goals. Why do men's standards decrease as they age? Why is this? Why is this such a thing in the West? And specifically with black males, why do you take the low end of the stick? Because women say this is what you qualify for, or because you can't do any better? I would say you take it because you feel that you can't do better than what you have in front of you. You take the low end of the stick because if you don't, you're scared to not be accepted by women. I know a lot of women that I was once, cool with, friends with, and I use that term friend loosely. They secretly have a disdain for me. I know they don't like me because I stand on what I say and I speak my mind with no reservation. I don't coddle bullshit. I don't entertain or support bullshit or mediocrity. I don't, and I never will. I value myself more than a lot of women value themselves. See, another thing I want to discuss, and I'm going to start hinting at, and shout out to, Fresh and Fit and a lot of these platforms and, these quote unquote dating coaches and pay and channels. One thing that I disagree with is the men pursuing or pushing men to pursuing dating a lot of women. In days of old, maybe, but because we have access to new information and women have evolved into creatures that are not like women of the past. See, we have a propensity to dwell on the past. Well, for so many years, so history did that. That's fine. You have to know the history to know what the future will look like. But we're in a new day and a new age. We have evolved, both men and women alike. So we can't hold on to traditions, mindsets, practices that are no longer acknowledged in this society. We have to evolve, and we have to evolve into men that control and create. Now, if we want to control and create a future that does have remnants of the past, such as the traditional family, which that should never go away, which is the man being the head and the woman being the helpmate, I'm all for that. The family structure with both parents in the home, I'm for that. But you must understand, these women that are walking around and that are in front of you today do not understand nor come from that environment. When you look at the out of wedlock marriages, you look at the divorce rate, you look at the broken home and the hands that go into the conditioning and the indoctrination of our boys and girls today, which ultimately will grow up to be the men and women of tomorrow. I do not support the quantity chasing, the getting as many women. No, because if you have not seen the Gina 2 situation with Chris Brown and the Nick Cannon and the whole, that package being distributed, that's what you will end up getting if you have this quantitative mindset that you want to get a boatload of women. No, you want to get the best quality, and you get the best quality by being the best quality, because water seeks its own level at the end of the day. I was talking to a good friend of mine. I may do a double take today. And I was talking about, a woman by her conversation and her social media. Just go and look at her social media. You can tell a lot by her talking points, her conversation, what interests her. We was talking about Nick Cannon also had a post where he was talking about 80% of women have terrible hygiene. A woman has good sex and good box simply by her conversation. When you see women complaining, talking about men ain't this and whether real men that and this and then the third, women who have an abundant amount of feminine energy, have taken care of themselves. You see, certain women didn't have a problem with the GOAT Kevin Samuels. May he rest in peace and may his message live forever. You see a certain caliber of women don't have any problems with what he said. This speaks to the quality of value that they take upon themselves or that they have in themselves. When a woman has that good box, for lack of better terms, she's not going to have certain problems, because a man knows when a woman has that good jug, for those who from the South. When you're from the South and you come across women who has that thing on them, you give them a different type of interaction. See, we like to come with this red pill, I'm not a simp and this. Of course you're not. But when you meet that one or that two that has that thing on them, you interact with them totally different than women who don't have that thing on them. You see the women who they're constantly rotating out men by throwing beacons of desperation on the internet. Men that with money don't complain about $200. Baby, if you qualify for men with that check, you wouldn't be making these posts. So what they do is, this is called phishing. They throw out these lines to attract certain men in their DM so they can get their pick. But I'm going to talk about that in another video. But as a man, as you age, do not lower your standards. As you age, more work is required. See, we have this retirement mindset that I'm working toward stopping. No, I'm working towards going harder. It's no retiring. It's no stopping. It's no laying back, kicking up. I stop when I stop. When the Most High calls me home, that's when I stop working. You guys want to get to a place where you can stop, kick your feet up, get fat, and then your wife starts fucking off on younger, more refined men. And then now you want to, cry on the internet. There's no retiring. There is no settling. There's none of that. You do the work till the Most High calls you home. You've been sold a lie. And you have to stop thinking like women, because one thing I've also noticed, you have men on the internet right now talking about Beyonce's latest album. You have men on the internet right now talking about P-Valley. Oh, no, absolutely the fuck not. But I may do a part 2 to this video. You guys let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.